Mhm. Okay, let's get this party started. Good morning. Here's your Papa Will. I'm back. Sorry about having to cancel yesterday's show. I was kind of sick, but I've gotten over it. I feel a lot better right now. So I just want to come up. If I start coughing, it's going to be too late for me to hit that mute button. But I'm going to put my finger on it anyway, just in case I start coughing. I'm going to mute myself. But I want to welcome everybody that sees this show. It doesn't matter whether you're here today in the chat or what matters is that 100 years from now, you are watching this show. And I want to tell you what this show was really about is that we've been raised to believe a lot of things that were true that weren't true. So I found a place, a guy that can actually do the research from the Library of Congress, not the White House, as I heard somebody say. And this isn't from the secrets that's hidden in the Vatican. This is public knowledge that you can research and find uh, right here in the Library of Congress. So today we're going to talk about that Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, Abraham Lincoln, we don't know, but the truth of the matter is the guy was a swarty just like me. That's why we've never seen pictures of him, George Washington, the first six so-called, I don't know, the term president wasn't activated until George Washington. Prior to that, they were just the guys that everybody responded to. They wasn't the rulers of North America, what we call now the United States, because they weren't united at that time. There were no states. There was just free land and indigenous people that lived here. And before I get going, I see two of my favorite females up in here. I want to say good morning to the queen of the whole damn thing, and also Lala. I finally found a time slot where I could actually see Lady Lala live. Wasn't there so-called 8 presidents before Washington? Actually, it was 7. There were 7 so-called presidents before George Washington, according to what I've researched. I couldn't find the truth. Whatever you do, do not use Yahoo to try to find the truth of who was black and who was white, because they will lie to you. You know, George Washington, perceptionally, was the 8th actual president. But hold on, let me just do this. How many presidents were there before George Washington? And here is the correct answer. The 14th president of the United States before George Washington. Wow, 14? 14? We were so far out, I can't even believe this. 14 presidents of the United States before George Washington. I can't believe this. This is not true because it's got a white guy up here pretending to be a George Washington. So we got to keep 14 presidents. Here it is. 7 presidents served before George Washington. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying here about being misled and brainwashed all through our lives. You know, even though this is showing a picture of some guy that never existed, but there was there says that Peyton Randolph was number one. Henry Middleton. I couldn't find a correct information on Henry Middleton, but he was swarty. Peyton Randolph was too. John Hancock was. Henry Lawrence, John Jay, Samuel Huntington, Thomas McKean. And what does that mean? 7 presidents served before George Washington. Okay, there's 7. Now it said number 8 is John Hanson. 9, Elias Boudinot. I am not going to keep on reading through here because the object of my channel is to bring you factual information and not farce, and not information that's not true. So let me get this party started, y'all. First, let me say the Y2K show's disclaimer that I created October 30th, 2022. This video and all content here is for 18 and over, except for our educational portion that is part of the fair use. But the videos contain strong language and adult content. All content and information in this video meets all community guidelines. No violations will be accepted. No speaking or causing harm to anyone. If you say anything that could violate YouTube guidelines, you will be blocked from the podcast. Spam, deceptive practices, and scams are not allowed. Only links to other content providers and links to other videos in content provider channels will be accepted. Thank you very much. That like button.
The Y2K show has been entertaining from the West Coast for 81 years.
Right.
Thank you for watching the Y2K show.
Please share our channel with others. Drop a message in the replay. Please support our channel with Cash App. Hit that like button.
You're watching the Y2K show, where they play my kind of videos.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle. When the revolution comes. When the revolution comes. When the revolution comes. When the revolution comes, some of us will probably catch it on TV with chicken hanging from our mouths. You'll know it's revolution because there won't be no commercial. When the revolution comes. When the revolution comes. When the revolution comes. Preacher pimps are gonna split the scene with the communion wine stuck in their back pockets. Faggots won't be so funny then, and all the junkies will quit their nod and wake up when the revolution comes. You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised.
How about a little bit of that Grey Goose? Watch you jump on the speaker and get loose. How about a little chill cask and cream? Freaking VIP fulfilling your dreams. Keep the party going like DL. Ain't gotta tell the soul, keep it to yourself. I'm the king of here like T.I. Get on my tab, it's whatever you like. I shot it to a Tanqueray. Flashing your boy while I'm on stage. How about a cup of coke and Bacardi? Fuck with your boy would be the life. Trust it too. Don't worry now, he'll make a way. Just keep the faith and make sure you pray every day.
I want to take this time to dedicate this song to all my fallen soldiers out there, man. You know what I'm saying? To all my peoples doing hard time. To all my street hustlers, man. My street soldiers. You know what I'm saying? We still out here grinding, man. We out here grinding. Huh. Let's get this money. Let's go.
I woke up in the morning, gotta thank God for seeing another day. I got money on my mind, looking for another way. Living this life I live, trying to feed my family and kids. Living this life I live, gotta get this money for the rent. That's why I push a hard line. I keep my pistols by my wayside. To all my peoples doing hard time, just keep your head up, it's gonna be alright, yeah. Here's a true story of a hustler's mind. Counting money on the block day and night. Gotta stay grinding till my pockets run. Got my hands on my pistol, it's so long now. I'm living this street life, yeah. I'm living this street life, yeah. I'm living this street life, yeah. I gotta find a way, I gotta get paid. I stay hugging the block, gotta stay grinding to the top. I'm getting money, I'm getting money, I'm getting money, got this game on lock. Living this life I live, trying to feed my family and kids. Living this life I live, gotta get this money for the rent. That's why I push a hard line. I keep my pistols by my wayside. To all my peoples doing hard time, just keep your head up, it's gonna be alright, yeah. Here's a true story of a hustler's life. Counting money on the block day and night. Gotta stay grinding till my pockets run. Got my hands on my pistol, it's so long now. I'm living this street life, yeah. I'm living this street life, yeah. I'm living this street life, yeah. I gotta find a way, I gotta get paid. I'm a certified hustler. Gotta get that mayonnaise and that mustard. Can't be soft like custard. I'm dodging all you haters and you busters. Like Ali, I'll be the greatest. I'm legendary. I'm street famous. Like Ali, I'll be the greatest. I'm legendary. I'm street famous. Gotta feed my fam. Can't go for broke. No time for play. No time for jokes. This be the realest song that I wrote. Just give me 2 guns, watch the pistol smoke. Here's a true story of a hustler's life. Counting money on the block day and night. Gotta stay grinding till my pockets line. Got my hands on my pistol, it's a long night. I'm living this street life, yeah. I'm living this street life, yeah. I'm living this street life, yeah. I gotta find a way, I gotta get paid. Here's a true story of a hustler's life. Counting money on the block day and night. Gotta stay grinding till my pockets rise. Got my hands on my pistol, it's a long night. I'm living this street life, yeah. I'm living this street life, yeah. I'm living this street life, yeah. I gotta find a way, I gotta get paid.
Nigga, Johnny West in this bitch. Spice Slim. We're liars. You know, I mean, it's really big. But a boss player like all my friends. I've been riding since the beginning of getting my ends. Took a stop at the green light, wipe off my rims. Beat the shit out of any nigga that honk in my Benz. It's on, nigga, we roam like sprint phones. You can tell that the East Bay is my home. The way I spit these ebonics and pop my motherfucking collar. We don't fall down, but me and the homies might squabble. Love each other like brothers, so we ride for one another. With one foot in the grave and the other one in the gutter. It's the motherfucking boss, I'm riding at all costs. And if I fall that I carry you, break your wig off, break your back, boy. Bring you your motherfucking hat, boy. We hitting corners, leaving motherfuckers flat, boy. You get a hole in your chest without the vest. I just purchased a Desert Eagle from Johnny West. Niggas is tripping cause he gave me the gun. Saying why you get that big old pistol to Spice One. Bang, bang, go. See why they getting pissed out to Benny Chico. Bang, bang, bang. Hit him up with them heaters, but send me do me thug thing. Bang, bang, go. See why they getting pissed out to Benny Chico. Bang, bang. Hit him up with them heaters, but send me do me thug thing. Johnny West ready to pack another clip. Lock and low, why don't you take another hit? When you sleeping, I'll be creeping, ready to take your cash flow. Thought you was a baller, now you're ballin' like an asshole. Just eagle, still a strap, lay you on your fucking back. Pop a collars, all the laces, fuck the track. Thought you was riding, got you crying like a little bitch. Angelic witness in the back, about to dig your fucking dick. Try to rob a star life, you sippin' felon, feelin' shit. Fuck, don't let my boy G-Lo-G riggedy off and fucking live. Bang, bro. See why them getting pissed out to Benny Chico. Bang, bang. Hit him up with them heaters, but send me do me thug thing. Bang, bro. See why them getting pissed out to Benny Chico. Bang, hit him up with them heaters, but send me do me thug thing. Bang, bro. So Johnny West, what you kids Spice One that pistol? I don't know either.
Check it out. to this thing right. It really doesn't matter about the past and where you've been. All the classes that you're loving here right now. Yeah. It really doesn't matter about the past and where you've been. All the classes is that you're loving me right now. You know, it gets hard sometimes, but I keep it strong. No longer blinded by your eyes, so I'm going love. Never go to shell, I want to say goodbye now. Oh, that's right. Tonight we're gonna do this thing right. It really doesn't matter about the past, it makes you think I'm invested. That you're loving me right now. Yeah. It really doesn't matter about the past. It makes you feel all the matches. That you're loving me right now. Yeah, 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 yeah. Lost in paradise. That you're loving me right now. Yeah. It really doesn't matter. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, DJ, let's kick it down to the hey, let's go right now.
Quick, we're going to get into his dad a little bit, Thomas Lincoln. Book is Life of Abraham Lincoln, being a biography of his life from his birth to his assassination, also a record of his ancestors, and a collection of anecdotes attributed to Lincoln. He is the gentlest memory of our nation, it says here, by Clifton M. Nichols, and this is from 1899. A most remarkable and almost inexplicable fact is that, now listen to this, we're getting to, this is Abraham Lincoln's father, all right? We're going to get a clear description of his father. Now it says here, the most remarkable and almost inexplicable fact is that to Thomas Lincoln was reserved the honor of an illustrious paternity. Thomas was about 5 feet 10 inches in height, weighed about 200 pounds, had dark brown eyes, dark skin, and black hair. Thomas Lincoln, again, Abraham Lincoln's dad, dark skin, and black hair. He was always poor and indolent. He was a man of great strength but slow of movement. All right, so again, Abraham Lincoln's dad described as dark skin in this book. It says here, Nancy Hanks was a beautiful girl of pleasant manners and keen intellect. She was slender and symmetrical, above the ordinary height in stature, and had the appearance of one inclined to consumption. She was a brunette. All right, so she was a brunette. What does that mean? With dark hair. All right, so I know brunette, people usually use it for hair color, right? I know that, right? And I'm creamy, but that means hair color. But they're already saying her hair is dark. Why would they say she's a brown hair with dark hair? Why would they say it again? She has dark hair with dark hair. We go to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, right? And it says brunette. brunette. What does it say? Of a dark brown color. Brunette hair, for example. Having brunette hair. Also having brunette hair. It doesn't just mean brunette hair. It also means a dark brown color. Brunette. A dark brown color. His mom, again, she was a what? A dark brown color with dark hair, soft hazel eyes, and it had a high intellectual looking forehead. All right, on page 218 of this same book, and it says that right here is the Abraham Lincoln. His autobiography. Now it says here the following autobiography was written by Mr. Lincoln's own hand at the request of J.W. Fell of Springfield, Illinois, December 20th, 1859. In the note which accompanied it, the writer says. Now he says right here again, and feet 4 inches, nearly lean in flesh, weighing on average 180 pounds, dark complexion, with coarse black hair and gray eyes, no other marks or brands recollected. Yours very truly, A. Lincoln. Again, dark complexion, coarse black hair. All right, Lincoln himself letting you know. On page 42 of this book, you have here Lincoln's parents. The father was a rough, illiterate, and thriftless man with peaceful, brave, social, and kindly disposition. He was of short and compact frame, with a dark, coarse hair, gray eyes, brown complexion, and brawny strength, which Abraham inherited. All right, we're going to read how strong Abraham is. Again, his dad is brown complexioned with dark coarse hair. Another source, his dad is also a so-called black man. The mother was cast in a finer mold, and according to trustworthy accounts, was a woman whose gentle instincts and lovely virtues would have adorned any station. She is said to have been beautiful in her youth, with a face of the brunette type. Her face is brunette, meaning brown, with a dark hair. Because right here is where they're talking about her hair. But right here, they're talking about her face. Again, brunette, brown, with dark hair, regular features, and soft, sparkling hazel eyes. All right, that's a description of his parents, people of color. On page 64 of this book says, Abe was now in his 15th year and began to exhibit symptoms of gallantry toward the weaker sex. He was growing at a tremendous rate, and 2 years later attained his full height of 6 feet 4 inches. He was long, wiry, and strong, while his big feet and hands and the length of his legs and arms were out of all proportion to his small trunk and head. His complexion was very swarthy, all right, very dark skin, very so-called black, very swarthy. Look up what swarthy means. That means so-called black or Negro, very swarthy. And Miss Gentry says that his skin was shriveled and yellow even then. Again, very swarthy. Can I get a so swarthy? Hashtag so swarthy. Abe Lincoln. On page 304 of this book, we got another description of Lincoln. It says here, Mr. Lincoln spoke in all about 50 times during the campaign. At his close, says Mr. Arnold, both Douglas and Lincoln visited Chicago. Douglas was so hoarse that he could hardly articulate, and it was painful to hear him attempt to speak. Lincoln's voice was clear and vigorous, and he really seemed in better tone than usual. His dark complexion was bronzed by the prairie suns and winds. His eye was clear, his step firm, and he looked like a trained athlete, ready to enter rather than one who had closed the conflict. All right, again, his dark complexion. And page 736 of this book says here, a tribute by John G. Nicole. Says here, President Lincoln was of unusual stature, 6 feet 4 inches, and of a spare but muscular build. He had been in youth remarkably strong and skillful in the athletic games of the frontier, where, however, his popularity and recognized impartiality oftener made him an umpire than a champion. He had regular and prepossessing features, dark complexion, again, dark complexion, broad, high forehead, prominent cheekbones, gray, deep-set eyes, and bushy, black hair. Again, bushy, black hair. Again, bushy, dark complexion, and bushy, black hair, turning to gray at the time of his death. Can we get a more clear description? Dark complexion, bushy, black hair. Source says the story Life of Lincoln, a biography composed of 500 true stories told by Abraham Lincoln and his friends. Again, true stories selected from all authentic sources and fitted together in order, forming his complete life history by Wayne Whipple, author of the story of the White House and its home life, the Minuteman, the story of Plymouth Rock, etc. Memorial edition. All right, scholarly source here. And this book is from 1908. All right, so we're on page 19 of this book, and right here it talks about Nancy Hanks. Again, that's his mom. It says Lincoln's mother. It says at the time of her marriage to Thomas Lincoln, Nancy was in her 23rd year. She was above the ordinary height and stature, weighed about 130 pounds, was slender built, and had much the appearance of one inclined to consumption. Her skin was dark. Again, dark. Her dark brown eyes gray, and small. Remember, they called her brunette, dark brown, and right here they calling her, saying her skin was dark. So brunette and dark brown, brunette, dark brown, dark. All right, what are we talking about? Couple colored tribes of America. What are we talking about? An aboriginal here. Eyes gray and small, forehead prominent, face sharp and angular with a marked expression of melancholy which fixed itself in the memory of everyone who ever saw or knew her. All right, so again, Nancy, his mom, dark skin. We got her already as brunette, dark brown, which means dark brown. All right, that's two sources already. I'm on page 273 of the same book. And down here it says, almost from his opening words, the speaker assumed an air of superiority, stating his facts in convincingly authoritative tone and belittling his adversary's political pretensions, and generally treating him with such marked condescension that many of Lincoln's friends, watching his dark, homely, careworn face, are his dark face, his dark complexion, homely, careworn face, began to fear that he had displayed more courage than wisdom in courting comparison with so brilliant a rival. All right, they're talking, describing him as a dark-faced man, dark face. All right, we're not done, and we're on page 331 of this same book. And again, we're gonna get another source saying the same thing. It says Lincoln's own life story, and again, it's the same autobiography where he says, if any personal description of me is thought desirable, it may be said I am in height 6 feet 4 inches, nearly lean in flesh, weighing on average 180 pounds, dark complexion. Again, dark complexion. All right, so when they're saying his dark, homely face, they know what they're saying. They don't mean like a dark face, like he's looking dark, like sad or like evil. No, he's dark complexion with coarse black hair and gray eyes. That's from his own words. Yours very truly, A. Lincoln. J. W. Fell Esquire, Recollections of Abraham Lincoln Ward and Lamon, page 9. We're on page 573 of the same book. All right, and down here it says, is this bloody war ever to end? It says, the morning after the bloody battle of the Wilderness, I saw him walk up and down the executive chamber, his long arms behind his back, his dark features, again, his dark features contracted still more with gloom. As he looked up, I thought his face the saddest one I ever had seen, he exclaimed. All right, so they're talking about Lincoln here, dark features. We'll continue page 579 in the same book. 579 says the president in the streets of the Capitol. And it says right here, I see very plainly Abraham Lincoln's dark brown face with the deep cut lines. The eyes always look to me with a deep Latin sadness in the expression. Again, Abraham Lincoln, dark brown face, dark brown face. Who is dark brown? Dark brown face again. Look at this image. I'm telling you right now, people. Does this look like a dark brown face to you? Is this a dark complexion face to you? Is this dark features? They were shocked, right? So, she's correlating what we're reading so far right? They're saying that he might have been a so-called ancestry of a so-called African American, right? That he might have been a person of color because he was a Melungeon, right? So what is a Melungeon? We know these are a tribal group of different people who mix, like Europeans with indigenous people, a lot of runaway supposed slaves. We all know these are indentured servants. A lot of these are Europeans, both white and black, and Indians, Aboriginal people who mix with, they're all mixed and became the Melungeons. All right. So we're in this book, The Melungeons, The Last Lost Tribe in America by Elizabeth Caldwell Hirschman. And in page 89 of this book, it says Abraham Lincoln, that Abraham Lincoln was of Melungeon descent, was first suggested to my knowledge by Brent Kennedy. Kennedy comments that Lincoln's mother, Nancy Hanks, was in all likelihood of Melungeon heritage. Given several facts of her background, indeed, anyone who looks at photographs of Abraham Lincoln is no doubt struck by his distinctively Semitic features. The thick, coarse black hair, But when we look at these images of Abraham Lincoln, I don't see thick, coarse black hair. I see like this, a white person's hair, like very straight or, not thick at all. All right. And it says here, the dark skin. What dark skin? The dark skin, dark eyes, prominent nose, and equally prominent cheekbones. So I was quite comfortable with Brent Kennedy's assertion regarding Lincoln's maternal ancestry. So I'm in this book now. It's called Herndon's Lincoln, The True Story of a Great Life. Itiam in Minimus Major, The History and Personal Recollections of Abraham Lincoln by William H. Herndon. For 20 years, his friend and law partner. This was his friend. He knew him, Jesse William Week A.M., Volume 1. And this book is from 1889. And again, remember, we already got Nancy Hanks, his mom being dark-skinned. We're going to get the same thing over here. It says her skin was dark. All right, they're talking about Nancy Hanks, the mother of the president. At a very early age, was taken from her mother, Lucy. At a very early age, was taken from her mother, Lucy. Why? And afterwards married to Henry Sparrow, and then sent to live with her aunt and uncle, Thomas Betsy Sparrow. You see? It's weird. Why was she taken from her mom? Was she an indentured servant, Melungeon, Indian, and descendant? Right? She was what? Her skin is dark. She's dark. His mom is dark. His dad is dark skinned. He said he's dark skinned. All right, we're in the book, The Hidden Lincoln, from the letters and papers of William H. Herndon, Emmanuel Hertz. This is from 1940. We're on page 184 of this book. And it says there's a letter here from June 24th, 1887. Mr. Bartlett, my dear sir, right? They're writing to that person. And it seems by your friend, W.H. Henderson, right? And he's writing about what Mr. Lincoln looks like. It says, you speak of Mr. Lincoln's fine physical nature, but to see and study the man, you would say that Mr. Lincoln's physical nature was comparatively low, coarse, and not fine and high. He seemed to have no blood in his frame. His flesh was dark. His flesh was darkness. All right, all this dark. Where's the pale? Again, they keep showing us these white pictures of Abraham Lincoln growing up. Every time we Google Lincoln, every time we try to look for him, even in these books that are describing him as dark complexion, they keep putting a white pale face Lincoln in the cover of the book, even though they're writing his flesh was dark. So why would he be afraid to get lynched? Because his flesh was dark. It says here, wrinkled and folded. It looked dry and leathery, tough and everlasting. His eyes were small and gray, head small and forehead receding. But when this great man was moved by some great or good feeling, by some idea of liberty or justice or right, then he seemed an inspired man. But his flesh was what? Dark. In the same book on page 361, down here says Josh C. Richardson's statement from, it says here, my father came to Spencer County, Indiana in 1828. It says Lincoln was tall, a raw-boned at 18. When 16 years of age, he was 6 feet high. He was so tall, right? He was somewhat bony and raw, dark-skinned. What does this mean? Oh, Pacurimeo, that means pale. No, dark-skinned. Why do they keep showing us pale-faced images of Abraham Lincoln? And we're getting only accounts of him being dark-skinned from everybody. Dark-skinned, dark complexion, dark features, dark face, bronze, dark brown face, dark brown complexion, dark skin. He was quick and moved with energy. He never idled away his time. All right, so they're describing him here. We're gonna get one more in this book on page 412. We get down here, Lincoln, the individual. It is now the time to describe the person, Mr. Lincoln. He was about 6 feet 4 inches high, and when he left the city, was 51 years old, having good health and no gray hairs or but few on his head. He was thin, wiry, sinewy, I don't know how to say that, raw and big, heavy boned, thin through the breast to the back and narrow across the shoulders. Standing, he leaned forward and was what may be called stoop-shouldered, inclining to the consumptively built, his usual weight being about 160 or 80 pounds. His organization, rather his structure and functions, worked slowly. His blood had to run a long distance from his heart to the extremities of his frame. He was so long, right? His bones were long, he was tall, and his nerve force had to travel through dry ground a long distance before his muscles were obedient to his will. His organisms and structure were loose and leathery. His body was well shrunk, cadaverous, and shriveled, having very dark skin. Very dark skin. We're adding an adjective to this. We're not just saying he's dark skinned, he's very dark skinned. We're not talking about a tan, we're not talking about some pale faced dude who might have look a little Semitic. No, he is very dark skinned. They're describing the individual. They told you in the beginning of this. Say, let's get to his character. He is very dark skinned, dry and tough, wrinkled and lined, somewhat in flabby folds, dark hair, the man looking woe-struck. The whole man, body and mind, worked slowly, creakingly, and as if it needed oiling. Physically, he was very powerful man, lifting, as he said, with ease, 400 or 600 pounds. He was mad strong. You see, Abraham Lincoln was mad strong. He was just a little scrawny and bony and weird looking, but he was really strong. His
I got a rack in my pocket and a speaker. Yeah, I'm off the meter. Tracks drop the beat and hit the streets with a heater. And I got it for cheap. I'm just doing the stunt, man. High siding through the city, yeah, the boogie man. 1, 2, 3, can you see this? It's not easy. I'm too crazy. I got a rack in my pocket and a in my pants. Walking around politicians, watch them do the rain dance. 1, 2, 3, can you see this? It's not easy. I'm too crazy. I got a rack in my pocket and a in my pants. Walking around politicians, watch them do the rain dance. I do the boss man dance all across the land, make them shake like they got the killer ants in their pants. When you see me in the club, put your hands in the air. Yeah, I don't wait in line, I got status like the mayor, and I'm a rap star. I'm fresh off tour. I'm out in Las Vegas. Lil' mama money making, no, she not insecure. MGM brand, I'm like 28th floor. I'm doing the Superman while I'm digging at them tools. Bottle popping on the throne, and I ain't seen bad broads like this back at home. I'm like 2020. 20 vision and you still can't see me. I'm like maniac pimp and it's way too breezy. 1, 2, 3, can't do CB. It's not easy. I'm too breezy. I got a rack in my pocket and a in my pants. Walking around politicians, watch them do the rain dance. 1, 2, 3, can't do CB. It's not easy. I'm too breezy. I got a rack in my pocket and a in my pants. Walking around politicians, watch them do the rain dance. I'm trying to have my money long like John Madden. I'm 05, I'm 06, I'm 07. I'm 08, I'm 09, I'm on the grind. I hit the end zone and I two-step like prime time. I'm about to get mine and get a lottery ticket. Yeah, I did it, I make it kick from the block to the office doing corporate biz. And yeah, I made my quota. Only in America I hustle hard like John King, the show promoter. Roll them over, get the cold shoulder, push the button on them, get that game is all over, move over. Now can you see me? I'm too breezy on TV. Count with me, I'm like 1, 2, 3, can't do CB. It's not easy. I'm too breezy. I got a rack in my pocket and a in my pants. Walking around politicians, watch them do the rain dance. 1, 2, 3, can't do CB. It's not easy. I'm too breezy. I got a rack in my pocket and a in my pants. Walking around politicians, watch them do the rain dance.
Monday morning, and I find myself missing you. And considering you and your new lover, playing it cool, even though you tore my heart apart. I start my day just like any other day. And when the phone rings on the other end, you say, now I realize that I made the wrong move to take you back in my life. Girl, I can't see it coming through. Blame the rain for daydream. Remembering times we both knew we would regret. How we feel is not the issue, girl. What would you do if you were in my shoes? You insist on trying to find a way back into my heart. I was never one to take 2 steps back, and I'll never start. After all the changes you myself missing you. And considering you and your new lover. Playing it cool, even though you tore my heart apart. I start my day just like any other day. And when the phone rings on the other end, you say, now I realize that I made the wrong move to take you back in my life. Girl, I can't see it coming through. Blame the rain for daydream. Remembering times we both knew we would regret. How we feel is not the issue, girl. What would you do if you were in my shoes? You insist on trying to find a way back into my heart. I was never one to take 2 steps back, and I'll never start. After all the changes you took me through, don't entertain the thought. I've got real strong advice, and I'd like to give it to you. Don't be lonely, you're not the only one who feels the way you do. Don't be lonely, you're not the only one whose heart's been broken too.
Yeah. Yo. 1, 2, 1, 2. Got them in trees, nigga, green, purple, and orange. Couldn't keep a bowl of kush that look like some lucky charms. The scriptures and the business, hot boxing with all my friends. Eyes bloodshot, my bloodshot, the lenses. I come fresh out of kush coma, it's boss a lady with a bag of kush and 2 bitches in polka dot bikini. With a rolling kush, the OG. Split the spice, OG1, Kenobi. I hold me, smoke in my chest and keep it in. Treat it like it's still doing, shot in the pen. And when I let it out, my cranium soaking the game in. No shame, nigga, I'm high in the soul plane. Eyes lost, shining like diamonds on your chain. Real talking Fetty Chico, smoke like a soul train, nigga. Smoking zips and pounds, getting hot in the motherfucker and never coming down. I'm high as fuck, and I'm never coming down. I'm never coming down. Never coming down. I'm high as fuck, and I'm never coming down.
See me in the clouds, puffing all out pounds, bout, break it down, crumble. Tally dubs around me, saliva bubbles. I'm doubting that I'm arriving on time to whatever's coming. It's the sativa and hit a couple, and if I rebel like a flame, take a pump again, stay on the level, keep your lane out the circle. And if it's city, then please proceed to the back and take your seat to his stubble. Dice, twice, try we smoke neon hydro. I ain't a white boy blowing, it's got me gone. I gotta get right, man, I got shit to do. This money gon' make itself a man and shit. I got police, I got me spitting true. One, you hit and watch me instead. Approach the levels, only read about tablets from the values of it. I'll smoke you out and have you out on the bed. Fucking with me, I have you high as fuck, cotton out with eyes in the red. Bitch, yeah.
I'm high as fuck, high as fuck, and I'm never coming down. I'm never coming down. Never coming down. I'm high as fuck, and I'm never coming down. Pass another blunt of that good shit, the one that makes you cruise like a cruise ship, blaze it up and take a tow. Man, the way we smoking the shit up, keep it lit up, let the split up, keep the white grape in the pocket, get it ready for the get up. Motherfuckers squatted on this crazy shit. I keep my hand on the nine and keep my hand on the split.
Quit holding it, you gotta pass it back. I grab the rap, extract the green crack. I mean that I got me, bro.
Dice, can you less finesse to boil me some tea, bro? For real, yo. I got couch locking Chinese eyes from the head to the feet, yo.
So let the weed blow. THC, the edible treats, bro. We'll stint the seeds, though. Give me that medical, roll it up. I ain't got what you need, bro.
I'm high as fuck, and I'm never coming down. I'm never coming down. Never coming down. I'm high as fuck, and I'm never coming down.
We fight the battle.
His mind was like his body, and blood works slowly, but his body and mind function strongly through his blood and moves slowly. All right. So again, having what? Very dark skin. A very dark skin. Now it's called The Life of Abraham Lincoln, drawn from original sources and containing many speeches, letters, and telegrams. Hitherto unpublished by Ida M. Tarbell, Volume 1. This is from 1900. On page 360 of this book, it says, they noted his great height, his huge hands and feet, his peculiar languidness of limb, his shoulders drooped as he stood, giving his form a look of irresolution. His smooth-shaven face seemed of bronze as he listened to their message and amazed them by its ruggedness. The cheeks were sunken, the cheekbones high, the nose large, the mouth unsymmetrical, the underlip protruding a little. All right. So he's what? His face is what? Bronze, a bronze face. It says here the Lincoln Encyclopedia. All right. This is the Lincoln Encyclopedia, the spoken and written words of Abraham Lincoln from his own words, people. All right. An encyclopedia of his own words, arranged for ready reference, compiled and edited by Archer H. Shaw, with introduction by David C. Mearns, assistant librarian from the Library of Congress. This is from 1950, and we're on page 190 of this book, of this encyclopedia, right? All right, so we're zoomed in to page 190, and it says here the personal description of Abraham Lincoln, his own personal descriptions, right? We're in Encyclopedia, Library of Congress. Pay attention, people. It says, perhaps you have forgotten me. Don't you remember a long black fellow who rode on horseback with you from Tremont to Springfield nearly 10 years ago, swimming our horses over the Machina on the trip? Well, I am that same old fellow. All right, so that was Abraham Lincoln writing to somebody, to Josephus Hewitt on February 13th, 1848, saying, do you remember, man? I'm the black dude. I'm the black fellow. Got another one here. Again, we have this already. Just want to verify. We got it from a different source and a verifiable source, right? It says, if any personal description of me is thought desirable, it may be said that I am in height 6 feet 4 inches, nearly lean in flesh, weighing an average 180 pounds, dark complexion. All right, again, dark complexion with coarse black hair and dark eyes. No other marks or brands recollected. Remember what that meant? That meant he was making fun that he used to be a slave and he ran away. He did it like an ad. All right, so now we finally get to this. I just wanted to show you all the different references. Now we're going to get the actual original autobiography of Abraham Lincoln. And again, they're going to put a pale-faced guy here. All right, but let me just zoom in so you can see. This is issued by the Americanization Department, Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States, reproduced with the permission of the heirs and descendants of Jesse W. Fell. All right, and again, this is the autobiography of Abraham Lincoln. I was born February 12, 1809. This is a collection of the Lincoln Financial Foundation collection, and this is very hard to read. All right, but I've already read it to you. This is the same one that we kept seeing where he's describing himself as dark complexion. So I just wanted you to see that this is real. This is right here. So again, this is the autobiography of Abraham Lincoln, where he states he is of dark complexion. All right, so I'm going to try to outline where I see it again so you can see. So dark complexion right here. Let me circle it. Do you see that in green over here to the right? Dark complexion, right? These are the two things right here. See the two things I'm circling? Dark complexion. Abraham Lincoln writing about himself with coarse black hair, dark complexion, right over here, and right over here, dark complexion. Authorized or notarized by David Davis. And who was David Davis? An American politician, a close associate of Abraham Lincoln. He was Supreme Court Justice and Senator during the antebellum American Civil Wars, post-wars. David Davis, United States jurist and politician. He's the one that verified this. He's the one that signed right here. David Davis. This is Abraham Lincoln's, again, autobiography. And this is the book, Dear Mr. Lincoln, Letters to the President, edited by Harold Holzer. It says here, vile threats to the black, the N-word, February 14, 1861. Sir, Mr. Abe Lincoln, if you don't resign, we're going to put a spider in your dumpling and play the devil with you. God almighty, goddamn subtle or of a itch, go to, and suck my, call my bollocks, you uncle, goddamn fool, and goddamn Abe Lincoln, who will like you, goddamn you. Excuse me for using such hard words with your, but you need it. You are nothing but a goddamn black, the N-word. Yours and Mr. A.G. Frick, Tennessee, Missouri, Kentucky, Virginia, North Carolina, and Arkansas is going to succeed. Glory be to God on high. It says this letter, never before published in this entirely, was discovered in the files of the Chicago Historical Society. The Chicago Historical Society is holding this. Somebody calling him a black, the N-word. All right. Here says the great lengths taken to make Abraham Lincoln look good in portraits. What? One famous image of the president features a body that isn't his. That's not Abraham Lincoln, people. Look at this. That's the dude, the photographer. Brady. Remember, he created the images. Look at the checkered floor, the Freemasonic floor. This is not Lincoln. They just told you right there, it's not him. That's not his body. Body snatchers. Remember, print of Lincoln versus print of Calhoun engraven. Photos, left Library of Congress. Says Abraham Lincoln had a problem during the 1860 campaign as a Republican candidate for the American presidency in an era after the birth of photograph, but before its widespread dissemination in the media. Many of the country's citizens could only guess at what he looked like. They didn't know what he looked like. You see what I'm trying to tell you here, what I'm showing you here? In general, remember, this is not no internet, no social media, nothing going around where people can be like, yeah, I saw Abraham Lincoln. I know what he looks like. Only photographs, images. They were creating icons. Remember, iconoclasm, icons. Though the rumors of Lincoln's ugliness stayed mostly within Democratic circles, Lincoln was not anxious to let the idea spread. So he turned to Matthew Brady, a well-known photographer with a studio on Pennsylvania Avenue. In many ways, Brady was perfect. Though Brady himself had bad vision and did not take many of his own photos, he conceptualized image, arranged the sitters, and oversaw the production of pictures. He conceptualized images. His photographer conceptualized Abraham Lincoln's images. All right, what are we hearing here? Plus, according to the New York Times, Brady was not averse to certain forms of retouching. He retouched Abraham Lincoln's images. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Showing you guys here, right? Are you understanding? Look at this. That's not Abraham Lincoln, is what I'm letting you know. Dodge the hijack. This is propaganda. This is how they do us today with marketing and media and all that. Whitewashing, right? Whitewashing. Dodge the hijack. Wake up.
So you want to know where to invest $1,000 right now? Well, forget about stocks, real estate, or cryptocurrency.
All right, so
Don't let the stress get Take it off slow. I like Victoria's Secrets, but I won't be without your clothes. Now light all the candles and baby let me pour the wine. Let's kick a groove to some old school sound. Some Marvin Gaye would do just fine. Girl, you got a body, you're like a fantasy. Let me embrace you, I wanna taste you. Until it comes naturally. Let it be me, the one you love. Oh, I wanna do the sweetest things to you, sweet lady. Let it be me, the one you love. Oh, lay on down to ecstasy. Baby, let's do it naturally. Lay down with me, baby. I'll massage your back and rub your thighs. Looking into the mirrors of your soul, I see and feel my nature eyes. Let me kiss your lips. Oh, let my fingers touch your ecstasy. Let me bring you down to that climax, girl. It's so good to you, it's good to me. Girl, you got a body just like my fantasy. Let me embrace you, I wanna taste you, and do what comes naturally. Let it be me, the one you love. Oh, I wanna do the sweetest things to you, sweet lady. Let it be me, the one you love, the one you love. Oh, yeah, baby. Yes, you feel so good here in my arms. You and me between these satin sheets. My body all over your body. Your body all over me. Yeah, you got a body built right to fantasy. Let me embrace you, embrace you. I wanna taste you, do what comes naturally. Do what comes naturally. Let me be the one you love. I wanna make it good, shake it on me. Let it be me, the one you love. Got a body of a natural dream. I'm gonna make love to you, girl, until your grandma screams. Let it be me. I wanna hold you, I wanna squeeze you, hold you, squeeze you. I wanna hold you, I wanna squeeze you. I wanna hold you, squeeze you. I wanna do all the things you want me to do. Let it be me, let it be me, let it be me. Take it off, baby. Take it off slow. I like Victoria's Secrets, but I won't be without your clothes. Now light all the candles and baby let me pour the wine. Let's kick a groove to some old school sound. Some Marvin Gaye would do just fine. Girl, you got a body, you're like a fantasy. Let me embrace you, I wanna taste you, until it comes naturally.
Yeah.
Boy, tell me what you really want from me.
Yeah, girl, you know I really want what's in them jeans.
Boy, tell me what you really want from me.
You can ride with me and take the trip up overseas. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, TWDY, the whole damn yeah, y'all put a chick on robot. I'm so Mac Dre, I got my air code locked. I'm so far away, I took the trip down that coastline, that Frisco Bay. I pulled up at the dock, ran script on the chick, she fell in love on the spot. I got to get the gab and the swag with the bash. I'm talking about the ism that you rich really had. I started talking fast and she started going dizzy. She asked me where I'm from the big city. She got silicone teeth. Bill Gates' backyard, I'm a fucking rap star, and I go 100 yards like my nigga rap bar.
Boy, tell me what you really want from me.
Yeah, girl, you know I really want what's in them jeans.
Boy, tell me what you really want from me.
You can ride with me and take the trip up overseas. Yeah, stunt man means outstunt everybody. I'm on the dance floor grooving at a gangster party. Start a soul train line, I'm about to lose my mind. I push it to the limit every goddamn time. Yeah, I call shots like a ref. In the kitchen cooking up a batch, 5-star chef. I'm the plug, the connect. Took a book around to the bank and left with a check. Yeah, hey, I make moves with the boss, call me Capo. Lifestyle I'm living like a new. Hit the lotto, flip to the channel, every channel I'ma pop on. Boogie money made off, I get my ride on, ride on.
Boy, tell me what you really want from me.
Yeah, girl, you know I really want what's in them jeans.
Boy, tell me what you really want from me.
You can ride with me and take the trip up overseas.
Feeling it? Stickums. I'm a whole nother species rolling up the key. Blowing up the spot when I touch down, believe me. Frank about bank like I was a Chase VP. Young Ace Boogie made off with the cheese beats. VIP, B and B with a 5-piece. Goon team with the moonbeams on the side piece. News team watch the boy move with a few things. Gamma 5 Gamma with a bad mamma jam. I keep cash on hand, get my hopes out the slammer. Wrist rock like a band, you can call it Steel Panther. This the hottie anthem, get the party amped up. Mommy got body like a pinned up calendar.
Boy, tell me what you
Aprovecha el menú de este
No offense, but if you still think that investing in real estate is the best way to make passive income, I'm sorry, but you've got it wrong.
You see, every month.
Oh, wow. Much love and respect to all who are tuned in. Thanks for being here once again. And I hope everybody is doing well and is blessed and is at least in a positive environment with their families and love, united. I want to do a quick video. Well, it's not quick, but to take advantage of today and, the whole Thanksgiving tradition. How did it really start? What is a more historical, accurate story when it comes to the original Thanksgiving and how it all started, the tradition? We're going to go over some points. Again, we're going to go over some previous information as a recap, just to remind everybody of today when we're talking about Indians and Pilgrims and Puritans. Again, a more historical perspective, right? As you see here in the cover, you see I'm showing Servia Mitchell, Wampanoag Indian, direct descendant of Chief Massasoit, the chief during the time of the Pilgrims. All right, we're going to read about him today a little bit when it comes to what the Pilgrims and these Puritans and these people from those times, primary sources of writing. And they're talking about him, Chief Massasoit. And she is a direct descendant of Chief Massasoit. You can Google her, look her up, Servia Mitchell, Wampanoag. You'll see all the information that comes up. All right. And again, on the right, we have what it says here, Swarthy Pilgrims. We're going to go over that again. A lot of you already know. A lot of you still not understanding what I'm really showing. So it says here in Encyclopedia Britannica that in 1620, the Wampanoag High Chief Massasoit made a peace treaty with the Pilgrims, who had landed in the tribe's territory. The treaty was observed until Massasoit's death. Bad treatment by the settlers who encroached on tribal lands, however, led his son Metacomet, known to the English as King Philip, to organize a confederacy of tribes to drive out the colonists, and that would become the King Philip's War. So it seems that Chief Massasoit, who is Servia Mitchell's ancestor, direct ancestor, right here on the left, right? He was trying to make peace. He was trying to do good. He had a kind heart. He was trying to prevent war and death. And maybe some of these pilgrims, so-called pilgrims and Puritans, were good. And some of them, hey, we already know the rest of the story. We can't bunch a bunch of Europeans into one group either. And we're going to explain that. All right, so want to read here. It says, before the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth, we were here. Before the pen of Jefferson etched across the pages of history the majestic words of the Declaration of Independence, we were here. All right, that's Martin Luther King letting you know. Before the Pilgrims landed in Plymouth, you were already here. All right, what am I showing you in these images right here? Again, Servia Mitchell, you were already here. This is a direct descendant of Chief Massasoit. Now, that doesn't mean, again, that the Pilgrims who came in were so-called white or pale skin. Got to stop trying to put everything into a white and black perspective and understand historical events more accurately. Got some more right here. Mrs. Horatio Amos, Wampanoag. All right, says here, meet 20-year-old Ciara Jackson, 2016, all right, it's a little older. She's the powwow princess. She says, I'm a proud member of the Mashpee Wampanoag tribe, hailed from the Bear Clan. Another picture of Servia G. Mitchell, from 1878, direct descendant of Massasoit, chief of the Wampanoags. Okay, this is historic. This is her daughter right here, Wutuni Kanuski, aka Charlotte Mitchell. Also descendant of Massasoit and the American indigenous people who encountered the so-called Pilgrims. This is her right here again and her sister. Wampanoag powwow. Remember who you are?
Provista's pharmacy program focuses on home infusion, physician clinics, and long-term care through our closed-door pharmacy segment. We provide a variety of private and manufacturer.
A lot of you guys know this picture. It's the Wampanoag, Narragansett, Hasinamisco, and Nipmuc, some people here. All right. This is a colorized picture. It says here, New England Annual Powwow of Algonquin Indians. Remember, Algonquin is a language. They all speak the Algonquin languages from 1925. All right. So again, we're just going over when we're talking about Indians, so you guys can get a better perspective of what we're talking about when we're talking about Indians. Wampanoag Mashpee Indian child right here in front of you. All right. A Wampanoag man. Wampanoag group. The Chippaquiddick. Wampanoag. Chippaquiddick. All right. You see black folks in here, so-called black. All right. Chippaquiddick Wampanoag. Gayhead Indians, Oxcart Cottage City in Massachusetts. All right, Wampanoag family from Gayhead, Massachusetts. And this is the picture from the cover of this video, the full version of it. And I'm going to read the bottom. It says, interior view of the Mitchell home at Becky's Neck, circa 1893. Seated on the left is Servia. On the far right is Melinda Tiwi Lima. That's her right here. And immediately behind her is Charlotte Watakanuski. In the lower right-hand corner is partial image of a seated man. This is Alonso. We have a picture of him too. On the table behind Charlie is a group of eyeglass baskets, and they were working on. So again, they were still doing their thing. Another picture of the Wampanoag Hasamiko tribe. Another colorized version. Really nice picture, as you guys can see. And that's Chief Cisco of the Hasanamisco tribe. And his daughter right here. Some other members of the tribe, Wampanoag. Wampanoag Mashpee Indian boys, it says. Not sure if they all are, but that's what it was coming under, all of them. It didn't distinguish. There's Tom Mingo, or Wampanoag. Tom Mingo. Standing left to right, Oaks Combs, Clarence Wixon Sr., and unidentified Ambrose Pels, Wampanoag, 1933. All right. Little distorted, but the software did try to fix some of the faces here. I just want to show you these two members right here, as you can see. And again, these are Wampanoag, Ambrose Pels. This is a close-up of the group image we saw earlier. The Narragansett, Wampanoag, Hasanamisco people, tribal people. All right. Says Mishki Anna, aka Red Shell, aka Clarence Manter Wixon Sr., the husband of Lucretia Scott, Manuel Tinkham Wixon, a Wampanoag. I just get close up. It's not the best picture, but at least we were able to save a little bit about it. Ms. Nell Cuffy Brown, Montauk Narragansett, and Charles Walter Butler, Wampanoag, Montauk. This is 1942. This is Morningstar Taylor Wildhorse, aka Clinton May Haynes, and Wampanoag. Morningstar Taylor and Max Atherkin by the lighthouse at Gayhead, Massachusetts, Martha's Vineyard. It says here, Mehitable Crosby Nickerson, the daughter of Daniel Crosby and Thankful Eldridge Crosby, Wampanoag Nauset Band. Maddie Oakley Helms, seated, and her 4 sons, Wampanoag, circa 1900. The Mashpee Wampanoag Man, 1929. Mashpee Wampanoag Indians, Mashpee Wampanoag Cape Cod. And a little reddish, the tintish, that's the softwares, but did a pretty good job in general. Mary Eliza Butler, Wampanoag Montauk. Margaret Prince Matthews, Wampanoag from the Chappaquiddick Band. This is in 1870. Margaret Etta Matthews Handy, Wampanoag Chippaquiddick Band. Margaret Etta Matthews Handy, Kathleen Madison Rocker Helms, and Marion Kathleen Helms, Kathleen Dermont Holden Helms. All right, Wampanoag. It says here, Kelly Reese, 28, captured the Women's International Boxing Association, IBA, middleweight crown, Wampanoag. This is a older picture from a couple years back. Not sure when she won that, if she still is, but just want to show you guys that. Historic photograph of a Wampanoag American Indian. All right. Herbert Benjamin Healis, the son of Edward Thomas Healis and Eliza Jane Matthews. All right. Wampanoag, Chappaquiddick. Harriet Joseph Montauk and her husband Vincent Joseph Wampanoag. Gertrude West Ames Chappaquiddick Wampanoag with her husband James Ames. Fred Thomas and his wife Cora Thomas, Wampanoag Pocasset Band. Dorcas Aesop Honorable, the daughter of Isaac Aesop and Sarah Tashama Aesop, and the wife of Thomas Honorable, Wampanoag. She was said to be the last living Wampanoag in Nantucket Island. All right, dodge the hijack. Al C. Wolf Curtis, Chappaquiddick Wampanoag. Here again, we have 2 pictures of Emma Mitchell Safford, young and older versions of her. All right, she's again a direct descendant of Massasoit, chief of the Wampanoag. As you can see, what she looked like. This is a direct descendant. All right, a direct descendant when she was young and when she was a little older. All right, so again, this was just a quick reminder when we're talking about Wampanoags, Narragansetts, and today's video, or any New England natives, they call, natives. This is, we just talking about copper-colored tribes of America. I just want to remind everybody so you can get a better understanding and perspective, or what the Indians most likely looked like during those times when the so-called pilgrims came. Now, also, so we can get a historical perspective and reference, when we're talking about so-called pilgrims, Puritans, Europeans in general, we already got the drop. We've gone over this information a lot before. We just recently did this video right here, the historical pilgrims. So we're going to go over this information again a little bit, just to get a reminder in case we also got new people that are going to watch this video in my channel for the first time. All right. Who are the so-called pilgrims? We got the Indians, right? Who were what the Indians most likely look like, who they were, who were the Wampanoag, who were these indigenous people these so-called pilgrims and Puritans were encountering. Well, we already know, we just saw. Now we're going to understand again who the so-called pilgrims and Puritans were. All right, so real quick, we go back to a video I did a couple of months back, or a month ago. It was called Crypto Puritans and Pequot Slavery in Providence Island. You guys remember how the Puritans were sending, the Pequots over to their colony in the Caribbean, Providence Island. Apart from Barbados and the other places, they also had this unknown place that most people don't speak about, and near the coast of Nicaragua, Honduras, and Costa Rica, between Jamaica and Central America. And this is what they were bringing a lot of the Pequots there. So that was this video. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out. We're reading from this book, Jews and Muslims in British Colonial America, in this part of the video. All right. And it says right here, although the bulk of the refugees fled to North Africa and Ottoman or Turkish lands in the Levant, thousands of others sought safety in France and the Low Countries. They're talking about when the Spanish Catholic Empire, Holy Roman Empire, was persecuting the Sephardic Jews and Moors and expelling them out of Spain and Portugal. And again, they didn't just end up in North Africa, as it's telling us here. As Protestantism swept across Western Europe, we know Protestants, most of these were actually Moorish and Sephardic Jews under that new banner of Protestantism. They swept across Western Europe. Many of these Jewish conversos and Moriscos, all right, Moriscos became often and only outwardly Protestant, all right? They were the Protestants. These are the historic Protestants, swelling the ranks of the dissenters. Some even provided leaders for the what? Huguenots. We've gone over this. The Hussites, the Anabaptists, the Calvinists, the German Reformed, the Walloons, the Mennonites, the Dunkers, the Quakers, Puritans, and Presbyterians, all right? Who? We're talking about Moors and Sephardic Jews. Sephardic Jews, we've already proven, general consensus at the time, everybody describes these Sephardic Jewish people during those colonial times as dark complexion, so-called Negro people, right? So a lot of those people filled the ranks of what? Puritans, all right? Remember that, Puritans, because we're talking about Puritans today. So who's the Puritans again? Who is the Puritans? All right, again, this is also part of the video, getting extras on this video, just going over it real quick. Again, Puritans were more Jewish than Protestants. A Puritan is a name often misunderstood. During the 17th century English Civil War, known as the Puritan Revolution, the Puritans were Protestant fundamentalists who wished to purify the Church of England. Some of the Puritans, known as separatists, separated, forming their own church. The Puritans felt the Parliament and not the king should have the final say, that the moral guidance for all legal decisions should come from the Jewish Bible, which they considered to be the highest authority in all matters. So as the Puritans were observed with the Bible and came to identify their political struggle against England with that of the ancient Hebrews against Pharaoh or the king of Babylon. All right, so again, these Puritans, again, there was a reason why they were, rocking the Bible so much and the Torah and the Hebrew beliefs, because a lot of them, again, were Sephardic, Moorish, Muslim people. They had that history already with them. They were just crypto or secret Protestants or Christians, conversos, new Christians. We kind of touched lightly on that part in this video about the Puritans. Again, a lot of them were Sephardic Jews and Moors under the Puritan banner. So again, this was from my recent video, the pilgrims, the historical pilgrims, who they were. This was chapter 4 of this book, Jews and Muslims in British Colonial America, which we read the whole chapter. Some parts in the beginning of this video, we were going over who the Sephardic Jews were, just in case you guys didn't understand that yet and you were new, but we've gone over this a lot. Again, these Sephardic Jews were people of dark complexion. They would be considered so-called Negro today, most of them. This is a quote from these times in the 1600s in Holland, right? In Holland, in Amsterdam, right? And a lot of these Puritans and all these people were coming from these areas, right? Because here, when William Barrington jotted down his impressions of the Jews in the synagogue in Amsterdam in 1635, he noted that the Jewish men are most black, right? Most black. In the bottom a little bit down says, and when the Scottish minister Robert Kirk toured London, right? So a lot of them London, when you're talking about English, what English, right? In January 1690, he also paid a visit to the synagogue there, where he observed over 200 Jews worshiping. He noted in his journal that they were all very black men and indistinct in their reasonings as gypsies. We know gypsies are very dark skin as well during these colonial times. We're gonna have a video on that to prove it. We've already gone over some of the information before. Check out my Acadian video. There's a little excerpt there on the gypsies so you can see what I'm talking about. And again, this was from Nations of the World, part 4. And I'm going over it on this video we did recently in this book, The Natural History of Man, literally telling us that Jews of Portugal are very dark. The Jews of Portugal are very dark. So again, when we talk about Sephardic Jews and Moorish people, we already know. So if we are telling you that the Puritans were Sephardic Jews or Moors, many of them, then we're just talking about so-called black people. Yes, just like that, straight up. That's why we're trying to, I labeled this video the historical things given. We got to have a reference, right? We got to understand who the pilgrims were, not only the American Indians, but also who the pilgrims were.
If you love the idea of having a steel trap memory, stop everything you're doing right now and listen.
So something we went over in this recent video was Abraham Pierce, or Percy Pierce first. That was a Sephardic Moorish name. We've gone over, and it says here that Abraham Pierce the Blackamoor. All right, this is from August 1643. This is some of the pilgrims. All right, this is a list of some of the pilgrims. Abraham Pierce the Blackamoor. Pierce appears in colonial records at least 30 times. Baker said he married someone who was obviously part of the regular community, so nobody ever said he was so-called black, they're saying. But yeah, we have a list of that. This is from the Washington Post. This is again from the same video we did recently. Was one of the Plymouth colony settlers a black man? So yeah, you know, they want us, you know, only say one of them was black, but we understanding the history a lot better now. And when we do a genealogical research on these people's families and where they might have been come from, what's their background, we see that a lot of them, again, are Sephardic, Jewish, Moorish people. Oh, wow. Hey, you know what's the best thing about today, guys? Is that I'm live. I can actually pause it and talk. I forgot. I'm over here trying to write in the chat. I just want to say, I hope you guys enjoying it so far. You know, we still got more to show. I just wanted to answer a couple things from the chat, and I just want to point something out. Yes, for all the new people, you know, we've been on a long journey. You know, it's not things I'm just trying to say, or my beliefs, or my opinions, or my agendas, or like so far I showed you guys. You know, you can go into the research. Sephardic Jews are so-called Negro. Being so-called Negro doesn't make them automatically African, and that's the part where a lot of people get wrong. It's the same out of Africa theories, just like they're doing to you. Over here, they're doing it to the Sephardic Jews and a lot of the Moors that were actually from Europe originally. Had nothing to do with Africa. You guys got to understand that. That's going to help you put everything into the correct perspective, correct orientation. If not, you're going to be distorted with the info and all confused. People are making documentaries. One documentary, we got over 400 presentations, you know, filled with nothing but sources, you know. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Because I heard somebody. Can I get a 1? Make sure you guys hear me. Okay, good. So yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and stop the video real quick and analyze that. And I want you guys to understand that this is not about me trying to like hate on anybody or hate a whole continent. It's just, I mean, it's just unfair for people to attack me like that when we're just trying to tell our story correctly. Don't take anything personal. You know, we're just trying to tell our story correctly. We're trying to grow and build and know ourselves. That doesn't mean we're self-hating or hating on the whole continent. Now, if you're all about truth and info and love, then you would clearly see. But there's something in there that's not allowing you to see what we're showing, because we're showing straight facts. And that's all emotional. That's all emotions. You got a veil over your eyes and you got to lift that. It's not about beliefs. You can't go into history with a religious mind state. It doesn't work like in religions. These ain't the camps. This ain't no doctrine. This is nothing like that. It's not about religion. It's history. You cannot be biased with history. We all got our biases. I got mine, but I try to show at least why I have my biases with sources. What do you have other than beliefs? You know, being of a certain complexion does not prove automatically that you're, you know, from a certain continent. That's just, you know, that should, I mean, we're in 2022. Come on. You know, and if you do read, if you are biblical and you read scripture scattered across the four corners, right? Like you got to really understand that, not scattered over Africa only. So I'm going to continue, you know, I'm going to continue. You can't handle the truth. Well, just want to make that clear, you know. So when we're talking about promised land, a true old world, you know, you already know a lot of those. If you saw my day and night video, I mean, you got to catch up. You know, there's a lot of information we gone over. You got to see who were those so-called Phoenicians. Who were these people? Like, where were they really coming from? They're coming out of Canaan. Canaan is here. So what are you saying? Remember my ancient navigational videos? You know, I showed you if you keep going into the Clan Chatan of the Scottish Highlanders, like I mentioned in my other video the other day, you'll see that they got ship as their emblems too. They were navigators. They were going. Of course, you think these people that had ships weren't going to America, or the ones in America going to Africa or Europe? Since ancient times, we had ships, just like the Phoenicians. One, you know, made out of our large trees that we had. We had the most majestic and largest trees in the world. When we're talking about a true Lebanon, we're not talking about a country named modern times, just like Ethiopia, or Egypt, or India, Hindustan. It was called Bharat. It wasn't called India in Columbus time. They didn't even exist as a country. You got to study into the three Indias and the land of Prester John. It's all code word. You know, these are real things. These are real people. You are real. You are real. You're still in your own place. You are real. So I'm going to continue the video because I'm going off track. You know, we're trying to keep in the topic. We're talking about Thanksgiving. And you guys saw the cover I did. Not this one that I'm showing in this video. Again, we're doing a recap of one of my older videos. So thanks for tuning in. Since it's Thanksgiving, I wanted to go over this again because just based off of comments and things people say, it's just like a lot of generalizations and misconceptions. And I understand why people are mad and say we shouldn't do this. And I agree on all those points. I just want to show that, you know, before any of that, there was harvest feast, you know, and there is a real history behind all these things and these people. Where did they really get it from? Did they really do it because the Indians helped them survive and all that stuff? Was it all about that story? You know, you guys already know that's like children's stories, but there's a real history. And I got some real people in the chat, and so to me it just gives me goosebumps. I'm just looking at all the names in the chat. I just get goosebumps, man. My hair's raised and everything. So I appreciate all the real ones in the chat that came through. Hope you guys are having a blessed day. You know, a lot of these people got YouTube channels. Make sure to follow them. A lot of good teachers, elders, young people teaching, all you know, all kinds of good stuff. And a lot of people do it with love. They don't do it with hate or judging others. You know, pointing out things. You ain't this, you ain't that. The family should you should get sued. You should. That's all petty stuff. You know. So let's continue with the video before I start babbling. All right. Hope that's clear. Yeah. Being a so-called Negro in Europe doesn't mean they were from Africa. Period. Let's go.
Age, diet, bad luck, DNA. You've been fed every lie possible about why your joints are in pain.
So again, we went over this book, A Genealogical History, Jews and Muslims in British Colonial America. And we went into chapter 4, Massachusetts, Pilgrims, Puritans, Jews, and Moors. All right. Literally, they were like, we read it, the whole chapter. So go back to that video to get the whole drop. Now I want to read this part. It says, an alternative image of Massachusetts begins to emerge if one is bold enough to discard the preconceptions and dig deeper into the original records of the time. All right. When you dig deeper, when you stop just believing everything, you actually do your own research, you start seeing an alternative image of what was really happening back then in Massachusetts. probing the historical backdrop in England and the Netherlands. You got to actually go further. You got to know who these people are. The great majority of the passengers on the Mayflower were not actually pilgrims, all right? They weren't even pilgrims. In the first place, only 35 of the original 102 passengers were from the congregation in Leiden, all right, in Holland. Remember what they said about the Holland and who was in Amsterdam. Amsterdam was the New Jerusalem. That's where all the Sephardic Jewish and Moorish people had gone to. They literally called it New Jerusalem. These were all people of color. Who was the Dutch ship merchants? Who was these merchants? Remember, the rest were miscellaneous persons who were picked up in London and Southampton. All right, we got the video with the guys telling us that more than half of the crew were indentured servants. That had nothing to do with just pilgrims. With this and other similar considerations, the pilgrims' mothers and fathers may not end up so dowdy and redundant after all. Their complexions become darker than previously envisioned. Again, we're talking about the pilgrims' fathers and mothers. What happens to their complexion? It becomes darker than previously envisioned. Many of the conscripts for Massachusetts appear to be what we call today persons of color. Persons of color. Persons of color. The historical pilgrims. Their complexion got a little darker. All right, so make sure to get this whole video that I did recently. Got a little documentary in there talking about the indentured servitude on the Mayflower and the Mayflower Compact, if you guys don't know what that is. All right, and who these people were and financing and involved in the colony of Massachusetts and Plymouth. Again, most of these were Sephardic Moorish people that were financing and providing their ships and bringing the people over. They were very wealthy people, a lot of them. And again, what's something we went over in this video was the Salem witch trials. Salem witch trials, we found out a lot of those so-called witches were just Sephardic and Moorish people that people were trying to get rid of. They weren't practicing no devil stuff or witchcraft. It was Sephardic. They were secret, crypto, Moorish, Muslim, and Jewish people. That's what they
enough words for all of us to understand what the origin of Thanksgiving is, what crypto means, a secret, which meant that these Sephardic Jews that were being run out of their countries and were escaping to the Americas were not slaves either. A lot of them grew up to be the people that helped overthrow the existing type of government that was in place here, and moved on to create that Revolutionary War against the British. So you got to understand here that what they mean by dodging the hijack means we've been shown all these white faces and half-true stories about historical events happening in what we call America. And it turns out that all of these Moors and Sephardic Jews and cryptos were all converts to Christianity so they wouldn't be persecuted. We got that? So I'm gonna save it right there because Tanya's here now. It's time to dance. It's time to dance. Let me get this set up first here. Let me mute myself before I start.
Say the neon lights are bright on Broadway. They say there's always magic in the air.
right off and you're nowhere. They say the women treat you fine on Broadway, but looking at them just gives me the blues. 'Cause how you gonna make some time when all you got is one thin dime, and one thin dime won't even shine your shoes? They say that I won't last too long on Broadway. I'll catch a Greyhound bus for home, they all say. But they're dead wrong, I know they are, 'cause I can play this here guitar, and I won't quit till I'm a star on Broadway. I won't quit till I'm a star on Broadway. No, 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 no. I'm gonna get this, I'm a star, 'cause I do what I can now.
Nope. Yep. Nope. Yep. Nope. Yep. Nope. Yep.
Ever told on a nigga?
Nope.
Ever squeezed a trigger?
Yep.
Ever set a nigga up?
Nope.
Ever helped a brother out when he was down on his luck? You a sap?
Nope.
You a boss player? You a Mac?
Yep.
Let me hold a couple dollars.
Nope.
Y'all still be popping y'all collars?
Yep.
Stock rims on the scrape?
Nope.
Paint wetter than a lake?
Yep.
Poodle in my blood?
Nope.
Bitch, I'm a thug?
Yep.
You a loser?
Nope.
Winner?
Yep.
Starving?
Nope.
Dinner?
Yep.
You still sell dope?
Nope.
Now you clean it in a bar Dove soap?
Yep.
Got a little Gouda?
Nope.
Got a thumper, got a Ruger?
Yep.
You in love with the hoe?
Nope.
She bringing you the dough?
Yep.
You gon' cry if she leave?
Nope.
You gon' fly overseas?
Yep. Everybody got choices.
I choose to get money, I'm stuck to this bread.
Everybody got choices.
These bitches is choosing, I'm all in their head.
Everybody got choices.
Keep it 1,000, I the life that I chose.
Everybody got choices.
These niggas be hating, I already know, but I never go broke.
No, I'ma stay getting money.
Yeah, And I ain't gotta sell my soul. No, no, I'ma stay getting money. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you broke, you ain't like me. No, no, I'ma stay getting money. Yeah, yeah. I give a fuck if you don't like me. No, no, I'ma stay getting money. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Lazy? No. Got dick that'll drive a hoe crazy? Yep. Hater? No. Wanna see a player get paper? Yep. Traitor? No. Loyal to my soil, not a faker? Yep. Sleep? No. Bust moves, hella active in the streets? Yep. Scared of the dark? No. Have money, have heart? Yep. Narc? No. Shark? Yep. Gossip like a brawl? No. Chick a bitch like a smog? Yep. Slipping? No. Tripping? Yep. Sober as a gopher? No. Hide in a roller coaster? Yep. Star Wars? No. Yoda? Yep. Never leave the house without my strap? No. Shoot a motherfucker in his nap? Yep. Never been a sucker or a pussy? No. Blowing cookie, never coughing like a rookie? Yep. Everybody got choices. I choose to get money, I'm stuck to this bread. Everybody got choices. These bitches is choosing, I'm all in their head. Everybody got choices. Keep it 1,000, I like that I chose. Everybody got choices. These niggas be hating, I already know, but I never go broke. No, no, no. I'ma stay getting money. Yeah, yeah. And I ain't gotta sell my soul. No, no. I'ma stay getting money. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you broke, you ain't like me. No, no. I'ma stay getting money. Yeah, yeah. I give a fuck if you don't like me. No, no. I'ma stay getting money. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Was it love at first sight? No. Did she ride you like a bike? Yep. Was it ripe? No. Was her pussy tight? Yep. Got some property? No. Drive a Maserati? Yep. You softer than a sock? No. You solid as a rock? Yep. Slow? No. Trained to go? Yep. Your team weak? No. You respected in the street need? Yep. Shallow? No. Didn't need? Yep. Broke? No. Chin need? Yep. Not a BB or a pellet gun? No. But a long barrel bass drum? Yep. If I get into it, won't run? No. I'ma give a nigga a fair run? Yep. Still live in the track? No. You ever go back? Yep. Wear a wire and a camera? No. Ears to the scanner? Yep. Everybody got choices. I choose to get money, I'm stuck to this bread. Everybody got choices. These bitches is choosing, I'm all in their head. Everybody got choices.
It's amazing how many cats I know in that video standing there with E40, including Snoop Dogg. Man, I got some incredible history when it comes to Bay Area music, rap, hip hop. But now we're going to go on to another one of my homies. We're going to get on over here to another one of my homies now. Y'all know him as Digital Underground, but I know him as Money B and Shock G. Crazy motherfucker Shock G tried to drive me off, take me to LA with them just because I had that bag of grapes and I was sharing it in the back of their I don't know, what do you call it when you got that big old van? You go tour your tour van. Yeah. Okay, so let me hit y'all with some Digital Underground. Shock G and Money B.
Alright, stop what you're doing, cause I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to. I look funny, but yo, I'm making money, see? So yo, world, I hope you're ready for me. Now gather round. I'm the new fool in town, and my sound's laid down by the underground. I drink a bottle of Hennessy you got on your shelf, so just let me introduce myself. My name is Humpty, pronounced with the umpty. Yo, ladies, oh, how I like to funk thee. And all the rappers in the top 10, please allow me to bump thee. I'm stepping tall, y'all, and just like Humpty Dumpty, you're gonna fall when the stereos pump me. I like to rhyme, I like my beats funky, I'm spunky. I like my oatmeal lumpy, I'm sick with this. Straight gangster Mac. But sometimes I get ridiculous. I'll eat up all your crackers and your licorice. Oh, yo, fat girl, Come here, are you ticklish? Yeah, I called you fat. Look at me, I'm skinny. It never stopped me from getting busy. I'm a freak. I like the girls with the boom. I once got busy in a bathroom. I'm crazy. Allow me to amaze thee. They say I'm ugly, but it just don't faze me. I'm still getting in the and I even got my own dance. The Humpty Dance is your chance to do the hump. Come on. I'll do the Humpty Hump. Come on and do the Humpty Hump. Check me out, y'all. I do the Humpty Hump. Just watch me do the Humpty Hump. Yeah. Do you know what I'm doing? Doing the Humpty Hump. Come on. I do the Humpty Hump. I do the Humpty Hump. People say, yo, Humpty, you're really funny looking. That's alright, cause I get things cooking. You stare, you glare, you constantly try to compare me, but you can't get near me. I'm giving more C, and on the floor B, all the girls, they adore me. Oh yes, ladies, I'm really being sincere, cause in the I'm a Humpty nose will tickle you. My nose is big. I'm not ashamed. Big like a pickle. I'm still getting paid. I get by the ladies. You know I'm in charge. Both how I'm living and my nose is large. I get stupid. I shoot an arrow like Cupid. I use a word that don't mean nothing. Like Luke did. I sang on Do What You Like. And if you missed it, I'm the one who said just grab them in the biscuits. Also told you that I like to bite. Well, yeah, I guess it's obvious. I also like to write. All you had to do was give Humpty a chance. And now I'm gonna do my dance. The Humpty Dance. It's your chance to do the hump. Come on. Yeah, sexy lady. Do the Humpty Come on. I'll do the Humpty Hump. Sexy baby. Everybody. Come on and do the Humpty Hump. I'll do you know what we're doing? We're doing the Humpty Hump, y'all. I'll do the Humpty Hump. Watch me do the Humpty Hump. Yeah, that's the break, y'all. Let me that bass groove right here. Yeah. Now that I told y'all a little bit about myself, let me tell you a little bit about this dance. It's real easy to do. Check it out. First I limped to the side like my leg was broken. Shaking and twitching, kinda like I was smoking. Crazy, whack, funky. People say you look like MC Hammer on crack, Humpty. That's alright, cause my body's in motion. It's supposed to look like a fit or a convulsion. Anyone can play this game. This is my dance, y'all. Humpty Hump's my name. No two people will do it the same. You got it down when you appear to be in pain. Humping, funkin', jumping, dig around, shaking your rump. And when the doodle jump punk points a finger like a stunt, tell him step off. I'm doing the hump. The Humpty Dance is your chance to do the hump. Everybody, I do the Humpty Hump. Come on and do the Humpty Hump. Sexy lady, I'll do the Humpty Hump. I'm doing